Yep. So, guys, if you don't know who John is, he's the King of Lease Options. And this is a strategy here in Texas, where I'm from, which a lot of you are listening from right now, that we're told that we can't do the strategy. I'm going to let him introduce himself here a little bit and talk about what he does. And then we're going to kind of dig in to the lease option strategy in detail today to help you out with your business. So, John, kind of tell him how you got into real estate and why you kind of gravitated towards the lease option strategy.
Yeah, I got into real estate back in actually, I guess I started studying it, I should say, in '02. And my background was day trading. So I was a stay-at-home day trader and options trader. And I wanted to get into real estate. And with real estate, it's like the stock market where there's, 15, 20, 30 different ways to make money. And everybody makes money a little bit differently. And so I knew I had to find a strategy that fit me, my personality, my risk, look at risk assessment, everything. And so I looked at rentals, and I wasn't that crazy about, having to go get a loan for a house because I didn't know anything about real estate. But I wasn't crazy about the whole rental thing and maybe trying to make $100 a month in cash flow, and then have something break. And so I didn't want to do the fix and flip. I'd totally redone the first place I ever lived in with my wife at the time, an old townhouse, and totally redid it from the studs up, And I didn't enjoy that, that wasn't my thing. So I wasn't crazy about the fix and flip, this and that. And every now and then I'd read a little blurb about lease options. I mean, a little blurb. And the blurbs were essentially the same, which is it's an easy way to make money with no money down, easy way to make money. It's a great way to rip people off and they'll never buy, and you kick them out and then you do it all over again. Yeah. And I thought, well, I know that's what Connor does. I want to do something different. No, I thought I want to do something. I understand options, and I like the idea of no money, no credit, no anything. But I knew that if you structured it properly, that you could set it up so that people could actually get financing. And so that's where I started leasing to buy because I didn't see anybody else really doing it. And great idea. The downside at the time was nobody else was really doing it the way I wanted to do it. Yep. And setting it up and structuring it the way I wanted to. And so it was really just learn from the ground up, on the job training, learn from your mistakes, lick your wounds. And that's how I got started. So I created Leasing to Buy in 2003. And, it took a couple of months to get my first house under contract, maybe 3 months. Coming up on 3 months, I guess, because there's no rule book back then either about how do you market for houses. Back in '03, the way you marketed for houses was either driving for dollars or you looked in the Star Telegram, the local newspaper, and see who has their house for sale. And you call them. That was all there was to marketing. Things have changed a lot since then. And so I would go and I would print all these buy owner ads. Buy Owner was the big website at the time. And I'd call every one of these people, hey, I saw your house was, you're selling your house, blah, blah. Would you want to do a lease purchase? And most of them told me to F off. They called my mom names, whatever, the whole thing. But every now and then somebody go, yeah, how does that work? Yeah. And I would literally go, I don't know. Click.
That's what I used
How
to
do
do.
I know? I'm making this crap up. So I got my first 2 houses, I remember, probably the first 4, but I got the first 2 houses driving for dollars, like half a mile from my house, just driving along, saw for sale by owner sign. House was vacant. I called him up. You want to do lease purchase? Yeah, sure. I had no idea how to set the numbers, or I just winged it. And within just a few weeks, I had $3,500 cash, which at the time that's a lot of money. I'd never seen that much cash except for maybe a few drug deals, but
They're a little bit more than $3,500 though.
My stripping days, I got a lot more than $3,500 in cash because I had beautiful hair then. The hair, man, the women loved the hair. Yeah.
Well, I think what he just told you guys there is probably one of the most valuable lessons that you'll ever hear on a channel like this. Is that he jumped in, he started doing it. He didn't really know what he was doing, but he took that action, right? So new investors, they get paralyzed and they never take action. Sometimes you just have to jump in and just take it on the chin and embarrass yourself a few times before you realize, that you can actually learn how to do this. in the field instead of just trying to listening to podcasts are good and YouTube channels are good, but you're going to have to get out there and try to do the business and kind of learn in the field. And that's what he's basically saying. He jumped out there and he started, and then, look at him now, right? Now, for the homeowner or for the listeners at home right now, there's a lot of them that are experienced, and then there's some that are brand new. So in simple terms, what is a lease option? Can you kind of break it down so they can kind of understand the process of what we're talking about here?
Yeah, it's super simple. It's so simple even I can do it. A lease option, and there's a few different types. There's the sandwich lease option, straight lease option, and lease option assignment. And we'll talk about Texas in a little bit as the conversation flows. But a sandwich lease option you cannot do in Texas. But what that is where you are basically subletting the property. Okay, so you have a contract, an option to purchase that property from the owner for, let's just say, $170,000. Okay, and you're going to make payments of, say, $1,300 a month. Well, now you go out and market that, put a sign in the yard, hey, lease purchase, whatever, you market it for, say, $200,000 to the end buyer. Okay, they put, say, $10,000 down. They're paying you, say, $1,700 a month, but you're paying the owner $1,300. Okay, so you get the money down, and then you're getting that cash flow each month. Okay, and then when they buy the house, you still have some equity in there, so it's a third profit center. Okay, on that equity. So there's three profit centers on that. The straight lease option, which is super, super simple, is simply this. If you have a house that you might want to rent out, okay, just a rental house, for example, just your own house or rental house. Well, instead of renting it, you want to get higher quality people in there. You want to make maybe a little more money monthly, and you want more than just a deposit. You want to get some serious money down. You just set it up as just a lease purchase. So instead of just saying, hey, you can rent it for $1,500 a month with a $1,500 deposit, you set it up as a lease purchase and you've got a price, top price you think it should appraise for, the top price for, say, whatever, $8,000 down, $10,000 down, whatever, and maybe $1,600 a month or $1,650 a month. So now you're getting non-refundable money down. There's no deposit. You're getting more on the cash flow, typically on the monthly. And then when they go to buy you out, they're buying it at full price, no haggling, no commissions. Yep. So that's a straight lease option. Now, a lease option assignment, which is what we've done. Well, we've done over 600 just in Tarrant County. And a lease option assignment is where I get with the owner and I'm offering full price. Okay, so I sign a contract with the owner for full price, and I set the terms, the price, the monthly, and the owner sees all this. So now I've got a contract, okay, to lease purchase this house for, let's say, $208,000 as a number, $208,000, $1,700 a month, whatever. Well, in the assignment, there's only one profit center. That's the assignment fee, just like on a wholesale deal. If you've got a wholesale contract, someone pays you an assignment fee, that's it. You're done, right? Same thing with this, except I'm not assigning it to a cash buyer. I'm assigning it to a family that isn't quite ready to finance. Yep. So they're paying me my assignment fee for this contract, okay? They're paying full price for the house, but they're willing to do that because they're not in a position to negotiate because they can't pay cash, okay? So I just tie it up for full price, okay, and then assign my contract to the family that cannot quite get financing yet.
Yep. I mean, it's a good way. So basically, you're just wholesaling. And so then in a way, you're just wholesaling the contract. Yeah. Right? Okay, and so in Texas, there's a big issue. Which ones can we do? And I think you pointed out we're not allowed to do the sandwich lease option, which is basically, guys, it gets the name from your sandwich the investor in between the seller of the house and your tenant buyer, right?
Right.
And when he's talking about selling the house, you're working with these tenant buyers while they're in the process of making the payments to get their credit restored, and then you're going back and getting them to finance out is how you're getting cashed out, or what's your main strategy to make your big payoff on the back end?
See, that's the thing, Connor, is there's no payout on the back end. Okay. So on the assignment fee, lease option assignment, there's just one pay zone, one pay area. Okay. That's your assignment fee. So once I get my assignment fee, I drop out, and now the contract's between the buyer and the seller. I'm done. Okay. Now, having said that, I'm not really done in the sense that the way we've built and structured leasing to buy, is we have credit improvement in place, and we have everything in place to help them get financing along the way. So as soon as they're ready for finance, we've got the finance companies, title company, everything, credit improvement company, everything's in place, which is why our success rate of people getting into the house and actually getting financed is over 98%.
Wow.
Which is unheard of, because if you ask around, and I don't know where you get the figures, but most people will hear about 20% of people that get into a lease purchase actually buy. Well, the reason is because they didn't know there was nobody there to help them. Yeah. They weren't vetted properly. They probably weren't ready to get into a lease purchase to begin with. Yeah. DTI was too high. Their life situation was not stabilized yet. Whatever. And so we vet them to get in before they get into the house. But there's only one payday, and that's when we assign our contract. And we typically get about 4% down.